Hi, my name is Gibson, and I'm the creator of the Personal Development School. This is your daily breakthrough video, and in this video, I want to talk to you a little bit about 5 hard truths that are important to recognize as a fearful avoidant attachment style. So, I'm doing a series about this, and these are 5 hard truths, and really, there are things that if you allow yourself to take them in and maintain an open mind, can really level up your growth journey, your healing journey, and in turn allow you to have healthier, more lasting, more fulfilling, passionate relationships. But they do require some level of responsibility for some of the points. So with that being said, the very first point is that volatility is really harmful to relationships. I was a fearful avoidant at one point in my journey. And I remember realizing this and reading about different studies and hearing about this and thinking that I sort of always assumed that like the depth of connection or how available or how present I was or how much I cared on one side of the relationship kind of made like the volatile aspects of the relationship negligent, like non-existent, kind of canceled them out sort of thing. And I realized like that's not actually true. It actually does not work like that. Chaos, volatility, fighting, arguing, those things are harmful to relationships long term, and they have a really strong downside. And even though it may be slowly but surely, volatility erodes trust, it erodes connection, it erodes so many things that as an FA you most often value in relationships. So it's a really important thing to keep in mind. Hard truth number 2 is that even though you might be amazing at reading between the lines, you are not 100% correct 100% of the time as to what you're reading between the lines about. So FAs are known for their hypervigilance. They're known for being really good at like noticing incongruencies or notice a shift in the pattern or noticing when something's out of alignment or doesn't quite make sense or add up. And part of this is that this has become a subconscious comfort zone for you. Usually there was some sort of turmoil you had to endure, which sort of allowed you to develop the coping mechanism of becoming really hypervigilant and really good at reading between the lines. But in turn, sometimes what happens is your subconscious mind assigns meaning to the incongruency. So the FA mind might be like, oh, the story shifted or the person's body language changed when they were telling the story. And your subconscious mind will usually jump to the worst case scenarios or conclusions. And it may think things like, I can't trust this person at all. This person's lying because they're betraying me. They're cheating. They don't care. They want out of the relationship. And the subconscious mind may assign that kind of meaning to the situation. But in reality, sometimes somebody's just feeling not good enough, or sometimes they're feeling ashamed, or sometimes they feel embarrassed about something that they don't want to share that's personal. And so they kind of shift gears. And you may notice that there can be so many reasons that somebody's sort of shifting or something sort of out of alignment. And it's actually your duty, if you're noticing this and it's affecting you, to communicate and to ask for transparency or clarity about what you're noticing that's not adding up, or about something that it has become incongruent. And for you to let that person know, especially if they're a valued person in your life, hey, like you were telling that story a moment ago, I noticed there was a shift in like your body language around this point. What's going on? Is there something else you want to share? Because it's making me feel a little bit uncomfortable that I may not have all the details, right? Or you can say something along those lines, respectfully, kindly, but directly, so that you can get that information. And the alternative is instead, usually on autopilot, the subconscious mind sort of like gives its own worst case scenario meaning to things. And then even if you can like keep it in for a little bit, it's usually going to come back out in some kind of way later on, as frustration or as a wall that you build between yourself and somebody else, or as a need to sort of pull away or protect, or as some kind of frustration about something else that's disproportionate to what it is. Like you may get really upset about something else that's small because really your heart holding on to or harboring this unresolved conversation when you notice a shift in the pattern. So it's really your duty to communicate, to show up, to ask about what's going on that you notice, and to ask for that transparency or clarity. Hard truth number 3. People don't always know your needs. In fact, they most often do not, especially when you haven't had a habitual dynamic of communicating them in your history of a relationship. And you have the burden of responsibility to communicate your needs, to let somebody know what your needs are, to see those needs through. I know as a fearful avoidant, it can feel really vulnerable and really scary at first, but eventually it becomes really normal. And it's such an important and healthy part of navigating relationships. And before I go into hard truth number 4, we actually have like an entire 14-day free trial that's just wrapping up. And if you want to do a deep dive into like how to know your needs, communicate your needs, reprogram your relationship to your own needs, have healthy habits to fill your own buckets of needs, learn how to communicate your needs really effectively, you can check out both of our needs courses for free for 14 days. You can check out the Discover, Embrace, and Fulfill Your Personal Needs course and our Advanced Needs course that has a lot to do with like communicating, receiving, creating habit strategies for your needs so you can feel fulfilled. And I will put a link for the 14-day free trial in the description box below. Number 4, your boundaries are your responsibility. So what I often see is that fearful avoidants will think that they're good at setting boundaries, but often fearful avoidance, I wouldn't necessarily say like good at setting boundaries is a fair approach. I once thought that I was really good at setting boundaries until I realized, oh, I'm only good at setting boundaries when I'm really angry. And in fact, when I'm really angry, then I set boundaries and they have all these downsides because I'm really mad and I'm not setting them effectively. I'm setting them through anger. And that's representative of like many times I didn't set boundaries prior to that. And so it's really important to be able to say, okay, you know what? I have to become really good at asserting myself around all the small things throughout the day and not expecting that people mind read my boundaries or figure them out, or that they detect what my boundaries are through like me communicating in a frustrated way or communicating indirectly. And it is my duty to assert myself and let somebody know what my boundaries are regularly. And if you, historically have not really had good boundaries, usually it's because in some sort of environment you were in, you kind of had to forego your boundaries as a strategy to stay safe in your environment, or avoid punishment or trouble or causing conflict or chaos or things like that. But that is a coping mechanism that might have served you at one point, but now is no longer serving. And it's really important that as an adult, especially as you want to become more secure, that you take full responsibility for your boundaries in all areas, your material boundaries, physical, sexual, your time boundaries, emotional boundaries, your mental boundaries around your opinions, beliefs, ideas. It's just very, very important to have a healthy relationship to that. And it will allow you to feel like safer in the world as a byproduct. And then number 5, it is really important to reprogram your core wounds from any past traumas, any unresolved experiences you went through prior to your current moment in time right now, or else they will show up in your external world in some form. Our core wounds get reprojected by our subconscious mind over and over again. And also, as long as they're a part of our subconscious comfort zone in the relationship to ourselves, we tend to be drawn to things that actually reinforce our core wounds. And if you want to learn more about that, you can check out our relationship shadow video on this YouTube channel, or the shadow work course that we have inside PDS for free for 14 days, and check out the relationship shadow exercise. I think it's in module 4 of that course. And it will take you through exactly like why we tend to repeat patterns in relationships, what it's all about, and how we can disrupt that and really create change at the subconscious level within ourselves. So anyways, that's it for today. Thank you so much for being here and for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video.